Hi, this is Danny Doyle, and I am joined by Casual Jacob. And today we have Chapter A. It's not a number. Jacob, is A a number? Did I miss something?
My favorite number on the color wheel.
My favorite number on the color wheel. So we've left Blairs' party in favor of a new one. There's 2 times that this will happen, where there's little, like, sub-stories. The Zeke chapters, then we're gonna later get the Viridian chapters. And in these sub-stories, this campaign is 3 long, and then the other one is 5 long. We play with, like, a whole new group of units, and eventually those units will join up with the main army, but these serve as sort of a introduction to them and show what they were doing parallel to our main characters. Like, this is Zeke's crew and what they're doing parallel to the invasion we just completed, right?
Yeah, I think the timeline is like you can find Hyperius and Alexis in the interlude before you get on the boat with Sid, and they're saying like, "Oh yeah, we're going to the Hollandus or whatever on a special mission or whatever." And, like, this is their mission that they're going on.
Alexis actually gives you the ankle weight too.
Yeah.
But what's cool about these maps is, in a similar vein to early Fire Emblem, like early game, where the devs can know, like, exactly what tools you're gonna have access to. In these chapters, because you use a very specific group of units, they always know, like, okay, you're gonna have, Zeke, who's a lance bow lord, Alexis, who's an axe armor, Hyperius, who's a sword general, right? And so the maps can be tailored to fit those challenges. And as a result of that, I find that this portion and the other sub-story, the Viridian one, are 2 of the tightest parts of the game. It does mean that, like, on replay, there's not that much difference between strategies, because you've always got the same team, as opposed to, like, 14 is different if you trained up Peggy versus if you trained up, Trashius or something, right? But,
yeah, there's more variety there, but
I think that from a, like, pure chapter design standpoint, especially since most people only play ROM hacks 1 time, I really like the way that these, the 8 chapters in the sub-stories turn out.
Same. These maps are really fun.
But enough dancing around the bush. Like, let's talk about the units we got, right? We're gonna have a lot of unit reviews these next couple episodes.
There's a lot of units that join.
I mean, units join in almost every chapter, but these chapters you get more, because, again, you're building your army, right?
Build an army.
Zeke is the lord of this army, although everyone is a game over condition during the Zeke chapters, just to ensure that, again, you have all the tools you need. He is a bow lord, but he actually starts with a higher lance rank than bows, which I've heard some people actually hold against him. Don't get me wrong, it would be better if he had, like, a higher bow rank, because C rank is the longbow, but he's 20 from longbow, right? Like, it's really not that big a deal. And I find that I end up using bows with him more than lances anyway, so it's kind of like the Reyna situation, where he's gonna build his bow rank anyway, so, like, it's nice to just default have lances and then get more bows. But Zeke's pretty cool. He does have... So, I guess I should pull up his stats. He does have a little bit of what people call Roy syndrome, of, like, his start is shaky, and his promotion comes later than you would like. But I think comparing him to Roy, is a bit of an exaggeration. Like, 13 strength while being able to wield the best weapon type in the game. And 13 speed's actually pretty bad. But 13 strength, 16 skill, best weapon type in the game, and, like, very decent growths. These are not great, but they're not bad either. Like, 55-65, right? He's double stuff.
Yeah, I mean, both of those are in range of, whenever you join up later, you could give them, growth boosters to set those over 100 very easily. If you wanted to, like, catch them up later, I guess.
Yeah, although I guess that does bring up, like, the big downside of he doesn't promote until after the next arc. At the end of the next arc, we got Blairs' promotion item at the end of the first arc, and we're going to get Zeke's promotion item at the end of the second arc, which is much shorter than the other 2, but it's still, he has to wait until chapter 20. We just finished 14, or he has to wait until 21. It's the end of 20. We just finished 14. I find that often in 20, he's just sitting around with capped EXP, not really contributing much, because that map gives a lot of experience, a lot of dragons. But you can make use of him without combat, because he does give charm, which is pretty fucking good.
Yeah. Plus 2 attack is pretty cool.
And it stacks with Blairs Inspiration, even though Inspiration is better, like charm at base is good, and they stack.
But he also gets another 2-tile range skill that makes him just really solid to keep around.
Is Drive Speed 2-tile? I thought it was 1-tile.
I'm very certain Drive Speed's 2 tiles.
Maybe I'm thinking of another game. Let's pull it up. But Drive Speed boosts speed, as you might expect, to either adjacent or within 2 tiles. We'll find out. Miracle, push,
I want to say if it's called,
res.
Spur Speed, that means you have to be adjacent or something.
Spur is adjacent, so you're right. Yeah, plus 2 AS. Drive Speed is the only speed boosting skill in the game. There's no rally speed, so if you want to help someone hit a doubling threshold, Zeke is the way to do it. And so, even with just these 2 skills, once he hits the point where he can't promote, or when he can't gain experience and can't promote, he's still very useful just being around your army, bolstering them. And it's not like his combat's gonna be bad. He can do chip combat with bows. Against flyers, he can just straight up kill them, because he'll probably double a lot of stuff if he starts getting speed growth. I mean, ours won't, but yours will. But even at 1 range, his combat's pretty good because he has basically a PRF Silver Lance with better hit. So that's pretty good.
With 50 uses that no one will ever break in any playthrough of this game. I've never seen anyone break this thing.
I think if you're doing a lanced-focused combat on Zeke, then maybe, because it is definitely the best lance he can use. Well, actually, maybe Horse Slayer, maybe effective lances. I don't know. I think if you were... The thing is, bows are just so good that I feel like I usually use bows.
They're just too good to have around. And once you do get him up to longbow rank, it means that you can position him better to make use of charm and drive speed, while still getting shots off on enemies.
Not only that, but during this portion of the campaign, you get the Opportunist Scroll, which technically anyone but Zeke can get, but I know a lot of people like to give it to Zeke, myself included, simply because he's the unit with bows on the map where you get that scroll. And you could save it for, Damien comes next chapter, and you have the other bow units in Blairs Armory we could save it for. And you could give it to someone who can, use Opportunist as, a hand axe thrower or something, right? But...
Butch mentioned?
Oh, Butch, yeah. Butch hand axe, if you want to cope him. But I think that, bolstering his damage, especially since he does have that sort of shaky strength start, is not a bad way to use that skill, and it just sort of falls into his lap, such that people are gravitating toward using it on him, right? And if you give him Opportunist, then again, you're not going to raise his lance rank because you're using Opportunist a bunch. Opportunist is extra damage when you can't be countered, if you haven't heard of the skill yet. It's Baruka's personal.
And it is really good.
Especially on a bow unit, because then, even against other bow units, you can use the longbow.
Or you can run up and hit him with the Partisan, even.
Yeah, you can... The fact that you have both 1 range and 2 range really helps. Although, in fairness, 2 of the other bow users, specifically Charlie and Sam, naturally outrange other archers, so that is sort of the argument that they have for Opportunist. But, because he joins so near it, I feel like he's just sort of drawn to it. I
know a lot of people also used to like to give it to him because in earlier builds you couldn't send stuff to convoy.
Yes.
If your pocket's filled, so you just ate the scroll on him because it gave you an extra inventory slot to work with too.
Well, but that's no longer the case. That was a beta thing.
And he's a lord. Once we get meet back up with Blair's army, he's going to be force deployed alongside her. So I can also understand, hey, he's your lord. You might as well give him a skill scroll that synergizes with his build well, so he can use it in every map, guaranteed.
Because you are forced to deploy him. You don't have to use your lords, but it kind of feels like you might as well. And it's not like Zeke is bad. He does not feel like a burden, despite what some people say. He does not feel like a burden in your army.
Nah.
But once he promotes, he gets even better, because he gets a horse on promotion, as well as every physical weapon type. So he gets swords and he gets axes. And I still find that he's usually just using bows, but it's nice to have access to all those weapons just in case you run into a situation where it's like, okay, well, I need to hammer this guy or something, right? Hammer cope.
To go along with that, he does get convoy access himself once we meet back up with Blairs' army. So getting all 4 weapon types, you don't have to worry about cramming weapons into his inventory and deciding what he can use, because he'll effectively have 155 inventory slots to pick from and just grab whatever he needs in the moment.
One of the coolest interactions, in my opinion, that he can have with that is later in the game, you get really full inventory slots because so many people want multiple weapons, as well as potentially growth boosters if they're still growing, but more likely what we refer to as offhands, which are items that you hold that give you some sort of beneficial effect. There's a bow one that makes it so that all of your bow attacks basically grant you Gale Force the first time you use them. As well as, doesn't it make them brave too, or it gives extra crit or something?
I believe it's changed like 3 times since I've started playing. I don't remember what the current version does. It like nulls the enemy's defense or like makes you auto crit or something.
The big thing is that it gives you an extra action, right? And so one of the sort of like late game strategies is trading around that item to as many bow users as possible to maximize the extra actions you get. And one way that Zeke can take advantage of this is if you have it, like if he's on the opposite side of the map and he can't get it, you can have a bow user with it equipped, kill an enemy who drops an item, convoy warp it, and then Zeke can pull it out of the convoy, and on his portion of the map, him and all the bow users near him can take advantage of it, which is cool, and it comes up more often than you would think. Like, it sounds like it would only be used in Don Don's LTC in 1 chapter or whatever, but it does actually come up way more often than you would think. You just gotta look for opportunities for it.
It's very helpful.
We already talked about the Partesian, but Zeke gets another personal weapon, which I guess is... I said the Partesian's his best lance. It's not actually. Stalwart is his best lance.
Stalwart is kind of really good.
Stalwart doesn't feel like a weapon to me so much as like a skill. So Stalwart makes you invincible at 1 range. Here's how much I don't think of Stalwart as a weapon. I don't remember its stats. Like, I just don't. And I don't think they're important. I can pull them up. I have Builder open.
I know it's accurate, and that's it. I know it's really accurate, but I do not remember anything else about it other than you can't drop below 1 HP while it's equipped, if the enemy's at 1 range.
The thing is, I wish it was less accurate, because it has 160 hit and only 30 uses, which means that it's never going to miss. It's 17 might, 10 weight, 160 hit, and only 30 uses. And I wish it was really inaccurate, because then it wouldn't break. And I just want to leave it on him so that he doesn't die. I don't want to use it as a weapon. Because, like, it's only 3 more might than Partesian. If I wanted to deal damage with a lance, I'd Partesian. I know that, like, Partesian in the late game is kind of a meme. Because you have so many other, like, good weapons. But I would still do it over using Stalwart if my main goal was to kill. Because Stalwart, to me, is just the sturdy effect. But it's not sturdy, it's like infinite sturdy. It's Shed Ninja sturdy.
You just keep staying at 1 HP, and there's nothing the enemy can do unless they have 2 range.
Yeah, or 3 range, or 4 range, or 5 range. There's a lot of ranges in this game.
Yes.
One thing that makes Zeke, like, less painful as an unpromoted unit is he has 6 move. Which is cool.
So you can kind of keep up with your promoted, like your heroes and your warriors that you have for the next arc of the game.
It's actually kind of funny because our only promoted unit right now is a general, so Zeke just has the most move.
Yeah, despite being unpromoted.
Yeah, he's unpromoted, but he's actually outspeeding Hyperius. This arc, I believe, also introduces us to supports that you gain on map, right?
Yes, this is the first map where we have those.
Because that's what this talk between Zeke and Hyperius is they start with a support available, right?
Yep.
And so that further buys into Zeke's support role, because in addition to providing charm and eventually drive speed to everyone, he also bolsters your Jagen, which is pretty cool. So, not that he's just a support bot, but I think that even if you get, unlucky with his combat, or, in our case, we did this, he's still going to be quite useful as a pure support unit for us. And a pure support unit who can do some chip, too. Like, Iron Bow with 13 strength is still a thing. He'll be useful for combat in his arc, at least.
Yeah, I like this unit. I kind of like Zeke. I didn't like him very much in my first playthrough, but the more I play the game, the more I actually kind of like how he's designed and stuff. If he hits level 20 early, in chapter 18, 19, please just still use him. Like, still chip stuff with longbows. Like, of course, don't feed all your, important high-level promoted EXP to him, but please don't be afraid to use this unit if he level caps before he promotes. Like, just hit stuff with longbows with him, please.
But have you considered, if you have him kill promoted units, he's an EXP thief, and EXP thieves are Jagens, and Jagens are usually S tier. Therefore, you should feed him promoted kills when he's level 20, so that he can be a better unit.
This run, we're leaving Blair behind to save point in chapter 20. It's my turn.
Do we want to talk about the project next, or the Jagen?
Let's talk about the project, because I know you like that unit. So
I do.
I'll let you talk about her.
Alexis is one of my favorite units in the game. I don't think she's overrated. Maybe a few specific people overrate her, but I think that at this point, people have sort of collectively agreed that she's in a weird situation, right? Where, so she's a training project, an armor training project, and you might think, oh, well, that's pretty bad. I mean, we have Joseph, who's pretty good, but an armor training project doesn't seem great. She's sort of, really held up by her skill, press turn. We have a couple of press turn weapons, but Alexis gets press turn just inherently as a skill. When she's unpromoted, she can only use axes, but she gets full weapon triangle upon promotion. And press turn lets her basically get 2 actions per turn, especially once promoted, because she can take advantage of it against any martial weapon user. Only having 5 move does hold this back quite a lot. You can, give her a movement booster, either in the form of the leg ring or the boots, in order to get her up to pace with everyone else. And if you're using Alexis, I do actually think that that's something you probably want to do for her, but it is undeniably favoritism, and pretty big favoritism too. The boots are the most competitive stat booster in any Fire Emblem game, and giving them to someone who has less move than the rest of your units it's an ask. And yeah, technically you're giving her 4 move instead of 2 because she takes advantage of the boost twice, but it's still a pretty big deal. I guess I should say her other skill is Triangle Adept from Desmond, because her whole thing is just taking advantage of the triangle. So high accuracy and extra action feels very good to use, and her growths are actually pretty offensively oriented. She has 65 strength. 45 speed is worse than you would want, especially since we don't have the Mercury boots right now, and Alexis does want to use the Zeke arc as her training arc, but it's still it's fine, especially if you get her to the point where she has enough might using either effectives or just high might weapons to one-shot people. She could then, pivot off of them to move farther onto the map. Her defense is also better than I remembered, 65%. She's the least tanky of the armors that you get, but she is still an armor knight through and through. And then, 100% HP. Again, she's a project unit. The biggest thing that holds Alexis back, I would argue, is not the fact that she has 5 moves to start out, and not even the fact that, she does need Zeke arc experience. She's lower level than everyone else here, and she wants to be trained up. It's the fact that when you train her up, she has the most intense case of 5 inventory slot system of any unit syndrome, of any unit in the game. And what I mean by that 5 inventory slot syndrome is most units, as we get into the mid and late game, are going to be there's 6 or 7 items I would like in my inventory for this map, but I can't fit them all. I want a growth booster so that my growths are better. I want an offhand so that I can take advantage of its properties, and I want these specific weapons and maybe a healing item, right? Like maybe a vulnerary or an elixir, depending. Alexis is not only like suffering from that because she has 3 weapon types, which even units who are like Flynn, who can only use swords, is like, well, there's 5 swords I want. And then you get like Butch, who can use swords and axes, and you're like, well, you know, there's 4 swords I want and 4 axes I want. So it ends up compounding on itself. Alexis wants one of each triangle weapon because she wants to be able to press turn off of as many people as possible. If you have her fight select groups, you can potentially be like, okay, this group, she'll always be able to use either a lance or a sword. We can forgo an axe or something, right? Bad example, because like she's gonna have the highest axe rank, but you know what I mean. So she wants at least one of each weapon type on most scenarios, but oftentimes also, okay, in addition, I want an effective weapon, because I want to use my high might to one-shot, you know, an armor or a horse. And so you can either be like, well, I'll make that be my only lance, but now how am I going to press off of sword masters, right? So I want an iron lance and an effective lance. Or I want an iron axe and an effective axe. But she also wants a growth booster, because she is a growth unit, and even after promotion, she's going to want to keep taking advantage of the fact that she has decent growths in order to keep up and keep killing things. But then she also wants something to help with her movement, because, yeah, you can give her the boots, but even then that only brings her up to 7. And also the boots are competitive. You might give the boots to someone else, at which point you probably want to give her leg ring, because 5 move, press turn is not great. Or you can give her, it's the angel wings, I think they're called, which basically turns you into a flyer. But you only have 5 inventory slots, right? And then as a general, she's tanky. You want to give her a healing item so she can self-sustain after an enemy phase, especially since with press turn, she'll often be pushing herself farther away from your squad and might not be able to get healed up by your healers. And so it just becomes a game of your inventory starts feeling really, really clogged. And while some units can be like, okay, well, I'll give up my, you know, I'll only wield 3 swords, then I'll have an offhand and a growth booster or whatever. One of each weapon type just does not feel good enough on Alexis. And forgoing any of the weapon types also, like, you can do it on certain maps, but it just feels bad. And it is unfortunate. She's still, if you invest in her, she's still quite good. Like, I don't want to undersell the press turn. If you're willing to work around that downside, press turn is really fucking strong, and just being able to delete 2 enemies per turn, being able to pivot off of one to go farther into a map in order to fight more enemies on enemy phase with your bulk and your strength is really nice, but again, the inventory slots is just a really huge downside, and the fact that she needs training in the Zeke arc doesn't help. I love this unit, though. Like, yeah.
I can tell.
I know I just said a bunch of mean things about her, but, like, she's still very usable.
I don't really have anything to say about this unit. I've used her in Zeke arc the couple times I've played, and I haven't used her beyond. She seems kind of neat, but Armor Knights don't usually tickle my fancy of unit I want to use unless your name is Joseph. So I haven't used it very much, but press turn seems very funny.
I will say she doesn't feel much like an Armor Knight. Like, even though she does have the bulk, she feels much more like a more movement-oriented unit, just because she leverages that low move twice, right? She feels more like a bruiser than a tank. But she can use it to get into tanking position. Yeah. Pretty cool.
She's pretty neat. Getting full weapon triangle is kind of awesome.
Getting full weapon triangle as the triangle person, like, is the Desmond thing, right? When he gets swords from Flynn. It's nice. It is good. And being able to leverage the extra triangle for additional damage, since you're probably trying to use triangle just to press turn anyway, helps a lot. Or just for extra bulkiness. Like, it's nice. I like it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. She will never miss, also. Like, if you're pressing turn, she's never gonna miss, because Triangle Adept, plus a decent skill stat, plus hit rates in TMGC. So that helps. Yeah. But the main event, because we're probably gonna do the Jacob thing and just not use Alexis after Zeke arc, but we will be using Hyperius after Zeke arc.
Hyperius, Galahad.
So Hyperius is the Jagan of Zeke arc. And like all good Jagans, his growth rates are very bad. Like 100 strength, 100 skill, 100 defense, 140 HP. These numbers are disgusting. Alexis is going to have better stats than him after like 2 levels. They are very min-maxed. Like, they are very min-maxed. He will always gain strength, skill, defense, and HP. And he will almost never gain anything else except for maybe luck. The speed in res is, like, very funny. The 20% feels like just enough to cope on.
You want to know the best part about these 100% growth rates?
We're not getting them.
If you don't give him growth boosters, despite having 100% in all those stats, he doesn't cap any of these stats. He comes up like a point short in all of them.
You know, the thing is, though, like, people talk about that with Barth from Fire Emblem 6 as if, like, that's the biggest problem in the world, but it's not. Like, I don't fucking care. Yeah, it would be awesome if you could cap, but, like, who cares, right?
I don't think it's bad. I think it's funny. Because, like, it's right there. Like, it's almost capped. It's right there. But
that
like,
must be intentional.
It has to be intentional. It's so close. But then you go, no, it's just 2 more level ups, please. I think it's funny.
There is a way that he can improve his speed, though, beyond just rolling a 20%. And that's Resolve.
Yes!
At level 20, Hyperius gets Resolve, which, in this game, when you're below 50% HP, I believe it's plus 50% to your strength, speed, and skill?
Yeah, I think it's pretty much identical to Path of Radiance Resolve.
So that's really cool. It is unfortunately, like, promoted level 20, and his EXP gain is going to be quite slow as a promoted level 12 unit, right? It's not going to be, I'm just looking to make sure that I'm not misrepresenting Resolve, but it's not going to be fast.
No, yeah, there is, like, Chapter 20, you can kind of give him some EXP in because of the dragons, but it is going to take a while to get Resolve on him, despite starting at level 12.
Well, you say...
just a little bit more, there it is.
Yeah, 50%.
Yep.
So you say Chapter 20, but the real way that you get Resolve on Hyperius is in Chapter 19, because there's a stationary archer boss who doesn't recover any HP because, you know, he's not on a throne to prevent cheese, but there's another type of cheese. You can repeatedly subdue him and get 1 chip EXP at a time in order to get Hyperius to level 20 in Chapter 19. The real reason that you use Subdue, though, is he's the Jagan. He sets up kills. So that's, you know, that's good. That's good for him, because
pretty cool.
He hits real hard. He hits real good, and he bulks real hard, and he bulks pretty good. Although, like all generals, he does eventually run into the Joseph problem of eventually enemies just become way too strong to like actually effectively defense tank with these people who are going to be getting doubled by everything, right? Because he's going to be getting doubled by everything.
Even with this much defense and with all the defense levels he's going to be getting, late game like guilds on enemies or even some silvers on enemies are just too much. You get doubled, you take at least like 7 to 10 damage every hit. It just doesn't work as well. Well,
you say... Okay, so there is another way that he can potentially improve his tankiness, though. And that is with unyielding, his personal weapon.
And it is pretty cool.
So it is... I like it. It is a 14 might, 100 hit sword. But it gives +1 PRT per missing HP. So he sort of runs into this thing where, like, I mean, he's got very fat HP. You can get him to the point where his HP is low enough that he doesn't take any damage from enemies. And then he can just sort of like, defense tanking is back on the menu, baby.
The closer he comes to dying, the harder he is to kill.
And PRT affects magical damage as well. So even though his res is like not particularly good at 11 and 20, yeah, if you're at 1 HP, that's actually 61 resistance.
Is it 1 protection for 1 HP? I thought it was like 1 protection for 3 HP.
Oh, it's 3 HP missing. Yeah, I misread that. I'm sorry. Okay. So yeah, if you're at 1 HP, then it is... I can't do math. But it's a third of that.
Yeah.
So the thing is, though, about the unyielding, right? Well, first off, just like we talked about with the short bow, it comes super late. It comes in the same chapter as short bow, so it's available for like 4 chapters.
Yeah.
But the bigger deal is that sometimes enemies can even punch through that, and with other like high defense units, if you have an enemy who can deal like 1 or 2 points of damage, it's not a big deal because usually high defense and high HP go together. But if you're using unyielding to PRT tank, and you're at the point where like everyone deals 0 damage to me, but this one person deals 4 damage to me, oh, then I'm dead, so I gotta heal up. But now suddenly these people who were dealing 0 are dealing like 10 to 15, depending on how much you heal by or whatever. And so it becomes a weird balancing act.
It's a very awkward dance you have to play to get away with it.
I haven't used Unyielding on Hyperius. There is another unit who can use it. That I tried using it on that unit, and they do not have the same overkill bulk as Hyperius, so it's possible that Hyperius uses it slightly better. But
I ran Unyielding on Hyperius, the map he got it, and it was kind of cool until a sage with cat magic and a 20 might tome punched through all the protection and killed him.
Yeah, that's kind of what I expected it to be. We'll probably make good use of it though.
I'm sure we'll get some use out of it. It's still pretty cool.
At the very least, it is a 100 might 14 power weapon, so slightly worse partition.
But here's the squad. We're all ready to go.
Though. So we're gonna activate the talk. Get that support built up. And then this is how I always open this map. Is I have Zeke do this. And then...
For some reason, why didn't I never think to open the map like this? This actually feels like how it was supposed to be done.
We grab... So the chest key only has 2 uses because he got partition out of the chest up in the top right, which I think is a very cute choice. But then we Iron Axe here. Good
attention to detail.
And that lets Alexis push off of this soldier and get the chest.
It's so cool. Do-do. And then we just solo the rest of the map with Hyperius, right?
And that's the opportunist we were talking about. Zeke's
it is a pretty
basically
good
personal. So then what I do is I trade... actually, I think I wanted to trade with Alexis. Yeah, I screwed up the opener I usually did. Because you have a Shatter Spear. Wait.
Yeah, I think... How do I usually open this?
I mean, Hyperius can probably handle the Shatter Spear, right?
Oh, I'm sure he does, but I think we also want Hyperius to, handle some other guys, too.
That's what the Vulnerary's for. We stole a lot of them. I think we can afford to eat Zeke's. I'm gonna reset real quick so that we can so I can actually trade the partition onto him, though.
Cool. I want to say that I had... what did I do for this?
Okay, I realized I do it slightly different. I do this. I still do all the same actions that I was describing.
This time we use the cool lance.
Well, but not only that, but the talk I do with Hyperius from where Alexis currently is. Because then she opens the chest, and then Hyperius can block that one while Zeke fights this one. We activate the support, and then that guy's going to go for Alexis, because, like, he doesn't see that he deals damage to Hyperius. I like these little Donald sprites, though.
They do actually kind of look like him, you're right.
So then you fight Zeke.
Look, it's Ephraim.
It is Ephraim, and then he becomes Bofram. Ephraim and Bofram. So then we can hand axe you. Does Hyperius kill the horse? I think so. Yeah, Hyperius can kill the horse.
Despite having like a 20% speed growth, he actually starts with enough speed to double a bunch of stuff in his joining map, which is very silly.
So I think we have Alexis kill this soldier. That way she can press turn and vulnerary to lure the people in the south. Because I like taking it from this direction, just going south. I know you can go this way, but I usually go the other way.
I tend to prefer going down, yeah. Look at that. It's perfect.
And we have Zeke do this. It's almost as if this is how it was designed.
Almost like it was meant to be.
And then Hyperius kills the Cavalier, and Alexis is going to spend her next turn vulnerarying and equipping the hand axe here.
Vulnerary.
So hand axe, vulnerary. And then Hyperius is providing support.
I always forget to, like, make use of her press turn thing. So they'll be like, oh, I'll drink a vulnerary and use her second turn to, like, attack something. Wait, that's not how that works.
Maybe you just need to go to pro gamer school and learn how to pro game. Be a pro gamer like me.
It's wild. I've played Persona, which is where this press turn system comes from, so you'd think I'd be really good at it.
Oh, it does, doesn't it? I've played P5. I haven't played any others, because I'm a fake Persona fan. I also played Persona Tactics. I played, like, the first two. I haven't beaten Persona Tactics, but I played the first two of it.
We're gonna make so many SMT fans so angry, and I love it.
I said I'm not a real Persona fan, because I've only played Persona 5. What do you want from me? I said I'm not the real fan. Like, I'm allowed to have only played specific games. Fucking Xenoblade fans would never accept that, though. Like, the fact that you can only play specific games. I liked P5, I want to play the others, but it takes a lot for me to play a 100-hour RPG. Like, it took me 120 hours to beat Persona 5. And the thing about that is, I was working a job where I could bring my PlayStation 5 into my job, because it was a night shift, right? So I basically just had to be present. So I would be able to bring my PlayStation 5 into my job and just play games for fun. And even then, it was such a time sink, despite the fact that I'm just playing it 8 hours a day at work. Well, really closer to 6, because at least 2 of those hours were spent actually doing, like, my duties and stuff. Even then, like, it's just such a time commitment. What do you want from me? We only have so much time on this earth before we die. I can't spend it all playing every single fucking Persona game. Let's talk about Leila.
Oh, good unit alert!
Oh, you just pissed off a lot of people as well. I agree, though! I agree! So Leila. Leila has incredibly, like, balanced stats. Level 13 Pegasus, she's the flyer we have for this arc. She is a sword peg instead of a lance peg. And I would say that that's generally a better place to be, because even though on promotion, each of them get each other's weapons, like swords get lances, lances get swords. You have a higher sword rank if you start as a sword peg, you have a higher lance rank if you start as a lance peg. In general, I significantly prefer swords to lances. I know there's someone in the comments who's been commenting on every video saying swords suck, and I'm sorry, I just disagree with you. I think swords are very good in this game. They're probably the best of the 3 martial weapons. They're definitely worse than, like,
so good.
anima and bows, but they're better than dark and probably better than light. They're very good here. And Leila can make good use of both physical swords and magical swords. Like, she has almost even growths and even bases in both strength and magic. And you get some very good magic swords. We already got several, like the Levin sword and the flame sword. But we're about to get our first rune sword, which combined with Leila's, like, fairly decent defense, like 12 well, actually, it's not really decent. 12 defense and 28 HP. It's good enough to allow her to essentially Nas tank as a flyer, especially with promotion bonuses. I wouldn't consider her to be a tanky unit when she doesn't have the rune sword equipped, but she can take on groups of like 4 or 5 enemies with the rune sword, and late game, it's better, like you're a better tank in the late game if you have bad defenses and a health drain weapon than good defenses and no health drain weapon. Of course, you ideally have both. Kenneth keeps winning. But if you have to choose one, I choose health drain every time. And Rachel can't, like, I don't want to, because the natural comparison point is Rachel, right? I don't want to overstate it. Like, Rachel can also Nos tank with the rune sword, but she's going to have a lower sword rank and lower magic, so it's harder to get her to that point. Of course, you could just use both. They support each other. And they make a very good Air Force with each other, I believe. Well, so the awkward thing about having them support each other, actually, is that it turns off Leila's personal skill. Lone Wolf is +3 to her attack and AS, and 15 hit, which, like, isn't the biggest deal in the world, although her skill can be shaky, so, like, against dodgy enemies, it's appreciated. Hit rates in TMGC are generally high enough that I don't notice the 15 hit too often, but when I do, I like it. Like, when I don't have 100 without it, I like it.
I mostly appreciate it in the next map where there's some brigands on mountain tiles.
Yes.
And it really helps with hitting enemies on like peak or terrain and stuff like that while she's off by herself.
And these 3 maps are really designed in such a way that sending Leila on solo missions is pretty not key to success, but it is encouraged. Yeah, encouraged would be the word I'd use. So Lone Wolf, I think, is probably, it's better than the ones that would require you to be near people, because flyers often appreciate just going off on their own. Unfortunately, if you're trying to like support up Leila and Rachel and make them a together Air Force, I guess Athena too, but Athena doesn't support either of them, so the 2 pegs together kind of feel more like they're meant to fly near each other. Then they turn each other's personal skills off, because Rachel wants to be near the Lord, and Leila wants to be near no one. But if they're supporting each other, they're near each other, but not near the Lord, because they go off and do flyer stuff. And so you run into this situation where it's like, my personal skill doesn't work, me too. They give y'all personal skills. It is easier, in my opinion, to turn on Lone Wolf than Loyalty, but the real sauce is Athena's personal skill always works, so she's better than both of them. But yeah, I like Leila. She has a support with Hyperius that she can activate on this map, and you can either use the Hyperius support or use Lone Wolf in order to bolster her to the point where she one-rounds enemies that she's just short of without them. And I think that's really cool. That's my favorite detail in this map, is that it not only teaches you Lone Wolf, like, she kills this brigand because of Lone Wolf, right? And she wouldn't otherwise?
Yeah.
But if you went up north, as I did my first time, she can activate Hyperius support, and Hyperius support is what pushes her over the edge to kill this brigand that she wouldn't without. So I think that's really neat, that both options are enough. I think that's really cool.
I didn't realize she got enough attack from the support.
She gets exactly enough.
That's clever.
Yeah, she gets exactly enough attack. I guess it would be three from both. But yeah, or not 3 from both. It would have to be 3 because it's mashing, right? 1, 2.
Yeah, it would have to be 3 attack.
Does she get 3? I might be misremembering. I could have sworn that on my first playthrough, Hyperius support was enough to push her over. Oh, no. It's not Hyperius support. It's Charm plus Hyperius support together. That's what it is. Hyperius gives 1, Charm gives 2. So you have 2 options to push her over. Either I'm doing this alone, or I'm doing this with people. And I think that's cool. I think that is a very cool place for her to be. And a cool design for the map. Yeah, I don't really know what else to say about Leila. I like this unit a lot.
There is the very awkward 30% growth rate on the Pegasus Knight and the 1 luck base on 15 growth.
Right, her speed growth is bad. Her speed. Should we talk about speed first or luck first?
We'll talk about the speed first, because I think it's not as big a deal for the next, like, 3/5 of the game. I think her base plus promo is enough for a lot of threats throughout the game. And once you meet back up, you can use Mercury Boots to kind of patch it up a little bit, but I don't know. I've always found that her speed, even without boosters, is still, like, fine enough for most of the game. It starts to come back to bite you once you hit, like, the last little bits of the game, but for, like, the next arc coming up, where you're still fighting, like, some unpromoted enemies, you'll have enough. It's not as big a deal as it looks.
She gets 4 speed on promo, which pushes her up to 22. She's definitely going to be slower than, like, Rachel, Flynn, Blair, the general fast units you have, right? Sam. But at the same time, like, 22 is respectable. And like you say, you can help her out with the Mercury Boots.
Because we did just get those, so you can throw them on her if you want to.
Similar to Alexis, I don't really like the fact that this unit trains for a bunch of unpromoted levels and can't use them. So, like, just like with Alexis, it's not the solution that you would like it to be, but it helps. She has less of a speed hole to crawl out of than Alexis does. And as such, she can, like, sort of just delay the Mercury Boots until promoted levels.
I don't.
The same can't be said about fucking luck, though.
Oh yeah, this luck is, like, unsalvageable.
I've heard. So, when I was streaming, a couple of people said, like, Leila gets the first 2 goddess icons for free. No. Leila gets the Hopla Guard, and it's fucking staple to her. This is a unit with 4 inventory slots. Like, do not try to fix her. I guess you could spend a bunch of money buying goddess icons, but, like, no, give her the Iron Rune.
Just give her the Hopla Guard.
Yeah. It is unfortunate. It's genuinely really unfortunate, because, like, 5 inventory slot syndrome is the thing everyone gets, and Leila gets 4 inventory slot syndrome. But don't try to fix her luck. It's unsalvageable. Honey Charm is also not an answer. 45% is a respectable luck growth when your base is not fucking 1. It's not an answer.
On the bright side, there is, like, a little bit of a band-aid on her broken leg with she gets Daunt as her level up skill, I think.
Yes, her level 15.
It lowers enemy crits by, is it 5 or 10 in this game? I know it's 5 in Tellius, but I don't remember if they buffed it to 10 in this game.
Level up skills. We're gonna have to scroll through this a lot, because there's a lot of, like, we know what it does, but the exact number.
Yeah, I want the exact number on it.
Canto plus Miracle, Intimidate, Pursuit, Resolve, Pursuit.
Oh, Joseph has Daunt. You have to scroll back up because it's in recruitment order. Joseph also has Daunt.
Where is it? Savior, Wrath, Pragmatic, Inspiration. Does Joseph start with Daunt?
Oh, he starts with Daunt.
Damn. I think it's 10. We'll say it's 10. If we're wrong, I'll add a note in post.
But yeah. The enemies do have, like, their crit rate reduced. By, they have, like, the cut to their crit rate on average. So Daunt plus
she's still facing
rate,
2%.
Kind of helps a little bit.
She's still facing 2% from hand X, Jacob. It's not enough.
I mean, yeah, it's. Like,
I mean, with Daunt it would be 0, but, like, it's just the enemy crit rate cut. I was like, let me just take a look at, like, an Armor Knight, because Armor Knights are gonna have less crit than other people. Like, what's the hero got on her? Fucking 8. It's so bad.
Oh yeah, enemies. Yeah, before Daunt. Yeah, it's still bad, but
Leila has been the cause of more resets for me on this
up.
map than anything else.
Oh, that's fair.
And also next map, because, like, it's not like she stops facing crit then. Well, I guess then she would have Daunt, but, like, yeah, it's bad.
Yeah, she really wants the crit negation item, please.
Her HP is also lower than you would like, especially if you're trying to, like, Naz tank. You can give her the Seraph Rope. I don't think it should be considered, like, hers by right, but she's a good user of it. Like, if you're trying to do Nas tanky stuff. Yeah, that's,
Yeah.
Oh, right, the main advantage that she has. I forgot, like, the whole reason that it's, like, why we deal with all these downsides when we could just use, like, the Air Force of Rachel and Athena. Leila is the only flyer with bow access. Well, okay, she's the only flyer who can use regular bows. Well, no, yeah. She's one of only 2 flyers who can use, she's a bow flyer. She gets bows from her support with Damien.
Yes.
And bows are the best weapon type in the game. More bow users equals good. It's not like she's bad until she gets bows. Like, she is still going to be quite good with magical swords or just with swords in general, before you get bows. But I do not think that this unit would be as good as I consider her to be if there weren't the payoff of, like, okay, but then I get bows. Because, like, a bow flyer is really nice. You like bow flyer, and you get another one who you have to work for, and you can cheat and say there's a third one, too. But if you know, you know. But yeah, bow flyer good. 8 move bow flyer.
She's pretty awesome. Again, I like this unit. Oh, we also didn't talk about the funny sword that she gets. The best Aaron and Samson archetype.
Karante versus Rachel's life. So, like, there's the, like, is Karante ever worth it thing comes up every, like, week or so in Retina Cord. And the general, like, answer that I usually hear is no, Karante is not worth it. I think that's, like, a bit unnuanced. I think that the Karante is a good weapon. It's a brave weapon if you move up to 7 tiles. It has 40 uses, so Leila can just, you know, that solves her speed issue if she's just doubling by using a brave weapon. Not that she has, like, that big of a speed issue anyway, but, she can either quad or double or avoid getting countered, which is nice because, you know, if you want to be able to Nas tank, not getting countered is good. The downside is you have to kill off Rachel to get it. If you don't kill off Rachel, you don't get the Karante. If you are using Rachel, then don't kill off Rachel. If you're using Rachel, like if you're training Rachel up, don't kill her off. However, TMGC early game has approximately 80 billion units, all of whom are good investments, all of whom can make good use of experience and end up being like long-term members on your team. I don't think there's a single unit who I would be like, you know, investing in this unit, literally they'll be unusable once you get to the mid-game, right? And as such, I think it's very reasonable to be like, well, you know, I've just decided in this run I'm not investing in Rachel. If you're not investing in Rachel, kill her off in order to get the Karante. Like, if you're not using Rachel, then the Karante is better than... Because the Karante comes at the cost of Rachel's life and Cassius's personal weapon. But Cassius's personal weapon is not very good. I think even if you're using Cassius, but you're not using Rachel, kill off Rachel in order to get the Karante. Because Cassius's personal weapon, it gets extra crit based on his movement. But I think he just wants to use bows. Like, just use bows with Cassius.
It's also like a crit boosting weapon, but crit stacking can only go so far if you don't hit 100. If you're not hitting 100 crit, you just can't rely on it like you would a 100 crit build, I guess. And it's only like, I want to say the trade-off is like Cassius and Rachel's personals are like 20 uses each, and then Leila's is 40. So it's like instead of getting 2 separate PRFs, you just get one 40 use PRF on one unit.
I've heard a couple of people say that, and while I understand why it feels that way, a brave weapon has half as many uses as displayed. Leila's is functionally 20 durability as well. Unless the reason you're using its braveness is for accuracy reasons. Like if you're like, oh, I have an 80, I have to hit one of these two. Every round of combat you should be doing even number, at which point, like, a brave weapon, like, yes, technically speaking, the Karante has twice as many uses as the Gale, whatever it's called. Gale Rider, I think.
Yeah.
But on a functional level, you are going to be seeing as many combats with the Karante before it breaks as you do with the Gale Rider. Arguably, the Gale Rider might be able to see more combats because it could just randomly crit when you were expecting to kill by doubling. And at which point, like, that's not going to happen with the Karante. So...
Yeah, I don't remember what the Karante stats even are. I just remember it lets her hit something twice, and I like hitting stuff twice.
Hitting stuff twice is cool. It is worth pointing out, there are buyable Brave weapons in this game. And it's not even, like, that much farther after the Karante. I think it's, like, 5 chapters.
I don't recall exactly when.
So, like, if you... Obviously, like, the Karante saves you from purchasing Brave weapons, but it is worth noting that, like, it's not... Like, Leila's the only unit who can use a Brave weapon for, 20 maps or something, right? I mean, we have the Brave Lance as well, but... Yeah, so my take would be, like, if you're using Rachel, don't kill her off just to get the Karante. But if, for any number of reason, you're not using Rachel, then yeah, kill her off to get the Karante. And if you're choosing between Rachel and the Karante, just look at what your team needs. Because, like, I don't know. I don't think it's, like, as... I don't think that every team needs to use every unit. Even if you think that Rachel is the best unit in the game, which I personally don't think so, but, like, takes are different between different people. Even if you think Rachel's, like, the #1 best unit ever in the game, you can play through a Fire Emblem game without using its best unit. Like, I've done Sethless runs of FE8 because Seth just makes the game boring. I've done runs of, the various Fates games without using Xander and Ryoma. You can play without the best unit, and if you're doing that, then there's no reason not to get the Karante.
And if you're not using Rachel, then you're not going to miss anything by having her killed off.
Yeah. It is also worth noting that, like, the choice is not between Rachel and Leila, though, because they have a support with each other.
So you could just run both.
So even if you're using Rachel, like, no, the Karante is not an argument for, well, I didn't get the Karante, I won't use Leila. It's 20 rounds of combat. She has plenty of other tools. Like, kill stuff with the Rune Sword instead. Still use her if you... Or don't use her if you don't want it, right? Like, this is not me saying you have to use anyone. Except for, I guess, technically, you do have to use Ian, because you'll lock yourself out of the true ending if you don't.
Real?
So I believe what we do here... How much do you take? 10.
Look at that. Lone Wolf lets her kill this guy.
She lives. Okay, so we do this.
Plus, Sword Pegasus Knights are so cool.
Sword pegs are cool. Sword pegs are cool. Nice, nice, nice. Okay. So now...
Oh, right, these guys.
Yeah, they are a little bit of a...
Oh, do you want to press off this guy?
I do, but I was just seeing, like, what people's combats look like. Okay. I think if I'm gonna press off this guy, I want to do it with the hand axe.
Makes sense.
Oh, he is javelin, right? Okay, so we'll do it with the iron then. We'll do it with the iron here, and then I think Alexis is going to have to go heal.
That's what Vulnerary is for.
Vulnerary, the most iconic unit on Z1. I know this is Chapter A, but the community refers to these maps as, like, Z1, Z2, Z3. So, 1, 2, 3.
It's just easier that way.
It is. So Zeke can do this.
Get that bow rank up.
And then what I believe we do is Hyperius blocks off, and Alexis vulneraries.
I like this idea.
Okay, so Alexis, what do you do here? Okay, so you go here in vulnerary. Oh, that's
can't
the
use
chest key.
this.
You can't use this. Okay, so now she's healed. And then what we do is Hyperius goes here. Iron Sword. Okay.
I don't
So
remember
you will attack Alexis. What's wrong?
Oh, I was trying to remember what the bruiser at the bottom had droppable?
I believe he drops a Black Lotus.
Womp.
All my Magic the Gathering heads will get that one. Look at Hyperius Jagening so good.
He's jagging out.
He's jagging all the way out. God, look at that 1% crit rate. It's so...
Crit avoid is something that I never actively seek out whenever I'm like planning like supports and stuff for GBA. But I sure do miss it whenever I see crit on my unit.
See, that's how I know you're not an Arthur fan. You gotta plan that anti-crit.
Look, I just fed Arthur his third goddess icon. I'm trying to plan around it.
The real sauce is like Bronze Axe +7. It's not actually. There are people who believe that, which is why I need to be like, no, like, you don't forge +2 in the campaign. It's just not a thing that happens.
But have you considered, it'd be really funny.
Have you considered? I have, in fact, considered. So you are schmoovin'. We do want to, like, be relatively quick here. Because there are scary get the fuck out of here reinforcements.
I tried to look them up, and I don't see a turn number for them.
Oh, are they zone-based?
I almost wonder if they're zone-based, because it says that they show up from turn 1 to 255.
Ooh, maybe they are zone-based then. I've always thought they were turn-based, and I'm like, damn, they showed up sooner than I thought. That should have been my... Oh, it's a Path of Radiance Marcia chapter archetype.
I was about to say that. Oh, this feels kind of yucky. It doesn't kill. Drink more. Stay hydrated.
Stay hydrated.
Yeah,
Keep
these
hydrated,
have to be
folks.
zone-based. That's hilarious.
Even with Charm, she doesn't kill. This is so sad. Alexis played Desperation.
I do remember this Myrmidon. That's like the Armor Slayer Bravesword guy, right?
Armor Slayer Bravesword, I believe. Yeah, and he's got 24 speed. So what we want to do is not let him attack us on, like, player phase, because then he'll switch to the Bravesword, and we want him to drop it.
Because Hyperius has Bravesword rank.
He does. You mean you don't want the Armor Slayer? But hammers are so good.
Woo, Armor Slayer. Hammers are good. Armor Slayer's not, of course.
Okay, so
swords
I think
are really bad.
Pew pew. So that Zeke is in charm range. And then I don't want to divert this guy up towards Leila.
That would be a little scary. Ew.
Vulner is only 15, right?
Yeah.
Oh, it's 20.
It's 20, but she still explodes.
She just barely. Like, if she had one less damage. That's so sad. So she could fight this guy. Okay, so I think what we do is we go over here and we heal up.
Drink up.
The thing about Zeke Arc, right, is like, I don't use my vulneraries as much as I should in Zeke Arc, but it's not because I'm like, what if I need them later? It's because the action economy when you have so much fewer units is actually so tight.
I don't have the turn to vulnerarity.
Yeah. What if I need the turn later?
What if I need to click attack?
Okay, so now... Oh, she's still shy.
Yeah, then she dies.
And that's with Daunt, too.
She attack.
So we can do this. Okay, I think what we want to do first is use this save point.
Yes, I like that idea a lot.
And then I think we put you here with and we vulnerate up again.
Take a sip.
Gotta make sure to spread out the vulnerary uses. You deal 17, and you deal 29. Perfect. Okay. You're not schmoovin' yet. Yeah, okay. So we'll do this.
I also remember that
you.
hero being a little scary.
That hero is pretty spooky. So we do this. Get the chip.
Actually, if you don't mind, before we kill this guy, what does Hyperius look like against this Armor Slayer guy again? Look at that. He just lives.
He does just live. However, that's a huge chunk of health. Like, 19 times 2 does not fuck around. That's 38. We get the Brave Sword.
Free Brave Sword!
And then I guess
Call
Alexis
Elwood
can
and
go
tell him
like
we found the
here. I do not want to lure the hero. Like, that's how you die. Although, Lance Reaver... But he doubles her, like, to the ground. 7AS... He, not just quadruples her, he quintuples her. That's not how speed works, but can you imagine?
Okay, I was gonna say, but what if, let's theorycraft for a second, overkill speed, where for every, like, extra, like, so many points of speed, it adds, like, an extra attack to give, like, Myrmidons with 35 AS something to do with all that speed.
Well, it kind of feels like lightweight. Like, maybe you could do something cool with that, like, lightweight. Like, for every extra... Because you know how the skill lightweight in this is, like, for every extra you have over... the amount that it, like, to not be weighed down, right?
Yeah.
So I do want to do this. The problem is, do you get exploded by the Dark Mage? So you have 6 res versus 27, 21. You do get exploded by the Dark Mage. If only
yeah.
If only. I mean, what I can do is... Can you rescue Hyperius? But then the problem is we'd have to take drop him. Because Alexis
and then
can't.
no one here can take drop.
Yeah. Right, everyone, all mounts, 20, I forgot, 20 con. 20
yep.
con.
28 flyers, or 28 mounts.
7AS versus 8AS. You don't get doubled, and you don't die. Okay, here's the plan. We Partesian for the lovely Ephraim sprite.
I do really like this animation. It's really smooth. The crit animation also looks really good.
And then he was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's this square, right? Or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so it's this square.
1, 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we have Alexis go here with the hand axe. Rescue. Oh wait, she's in hero range too, isn't she? Yeah, fuck. She's in hero range. Should have gone to the forest.
You can shove her?
No, we have to restart because I was gonna take drop, so Zeke would be out.
Take drop,
Charm.
That's right.
Well, I'll be right back.
I'll
be right back. She's not surviving the fucking hero, Jacob! She's not! Okay, so this time... we actually rescue everything correctly. Alexis goes into the woods.
It's a woods time.
It's woods time for her. Wait, does that mean actually... Okay, so... I was talking about Fire Emblem Engage. And I heard that Yunaka is, like, the best unit in the game because you put her in the woods and no one can hit her. Look away, Yunaka fans. Look away, Yunaka fans. No!
Oh, no! I know Yunaka love is a thing, but... God, covert unit types annoy me so much. I don't believe in Thief Avo Tank everything. So the only time I ever see the term covert come up is whenever it's an archer standing on a fort tile. And then I get to ask myself, cool, I have to fight this guy somehow. It feels very weighted in the enemy's favor for something. Because there are tools that are like really good in the enemy's hands that just don't really work as well in the player's hands.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you have Surge to deal with it, I guess. But I would say, like, Chain Attack is another example of that, probably.
See that, yeah.
You can do this with Alexis.
Whoosh.
And then...
God, it would have been so funny if she had actually missed, just so we could say, yep, there's the Yunaka.
There's the Yunaka archetype.
But I didn't want to speak it into existence.
I think what we do is Zeke, go here, start working on his bow rank.
Woo!
Fight this guy, and then he gives Charm if we shove this way. And we can lure the hero. My Fate's Brain had to be like, he's not getting a dual strike from the armor, you don't need to check that. But I would like to get Daunt on Leila this map, so she has it against the Berserkers next map. Or not the Berserkers, the Brigands next map.
The Brigands.
Because I really don't want to deal with, I really don't want to deal with the nonsense.
Also, Danny, I have bad news.
What?
I checked why I got the numbers mixed up. It's because Daunt is minus 10 hit, minus 5 crit.
Oh, I mean, like, it'll help our Yunaka archetype.
This is true.
Okay, so he lives here, so we can do a little bit of chip. And then I want to feed this promoted kill to Hyperius because I joked about doing the archer thing, like the archer boss thing, but I don't actually want to do that.
It would be nice to get as many promoted kills on him as we can.
And look at that. That's 5! That was 5 EXP! I was about to be like, look at that experience. But now I'm like, look at that experience. Oh my god.
Look at that experience, affectionate. Look at that experience, derogatory.
So here, I could have Alexis, like, press off of the soldier and then heal. But I don't actually want to feed Alexis this kill because I'm not using her. So I think we feed this kill to Leila. 81. 81.
I like that idea.
Again, I do think her hit issues are exaggerated, but like, weapon triangle disadvantage in the woods, not good. Although, I guess, as a counter-argument, weapon triangle disadvantage in the woods, getting 80 is impressive. Question mark.
Yeah, because that's... I think woods give 10 avoid?
Woods give 10 avoid. Weapon triangle gives
10
I want to say also
as
10?
well. Yeah. It's like, that's kind of cool. Great.
We bonk.
Dang, if only we'd gotten the Armor Slayer drop.
We don't want the Armor Slayer. We have the Rapier. Like, look, it's fine. Look, I did it. I mean, like, she's gonna get 2% crit now. Like, that's what's gonna happen. It would have been so funny, though, right? It would have been so funny, though. Okay, so pro tip, don't feed that hero to Hyperius. It's not worth it.
Oh, I don't know if we've mentioned yet, but we mentioned, like, you know, training units in Zeke arc. You do get a Master Seal in the second, at the very end of the second Zeke map. So it is worth, like, picking out a unit and saying, I want to train up this person. That way they can be promoted for Z3.
Use Subdue there just in case I got the crit, because 13 crit is, like...
high enough.
Yeah. 2 uses of an Iron Sword is worth ensuring that that kill goes to Zeke instead. Because in addition to wanting to get Daunt as quickly as possible, Drive Speed is also something I would like, you know, relatively soonish.
Yes, because 2 AS to nearby allies just by existing is pretty cool.
It's what's going to let Zeke continue to contribute in 0% growths.
You know what? We love to see that.
We do. Wait, I didn't check. Is she getting doubled?
No way she gets doubled by this guy. Okay.
Okay.
I thought it too. Don't worry. I thought the exact same thing. I was like, did we just?
She's one off.
Way.
She's one off.
Wow. I had a feeling there'd be no way they would let this guy just one round her. Like, I don't know. That seems a little cruel. Oh, it's so close.
Hyperius only gives 1 attack too.
Yeah.
Well, we can do chip. Like, we can do chip.
Oh, chip. Whoosh.
And if he crit and stole the kill, it wouldn't be the end of the world. So we...
Let me secure the kill.
Do this, and then we push her.
We will save the save point.
Well, we push her so that she doesn't get attacked and killed by the sword guy.
Yeah.
Because 25, yeah, he kills.
That's why shove is awesome.
Smite you.
Oh, we're even smiting her away.
Well, because I want her to be able to take advantage of Lone Wolf next turn, I think.
Oh.
Potentially, maybe. I guess we'll see. Vulnerary.
Take more sip.
Just sip it all. Just sip it all. Keep healing. Keep healing. We're gonna get screwed next chapter when there's no vulneraries, but that's a future Danny problem.
We will simply steal more.
True.
Hyperius not getting doubled by this guy is awesome.
I believe, yeah, there's calves down here. Okay, and you're gonna start moving soon. You drop a vulnerary too.
Whee! Free vulnerary!
I could... So I know this mage sometimes causes me problems. I could have Leila. The problem with not having a healer is I keep being like, oh, I want to kill this. I want to kill this right now.
I keep having to drink every turn.
Drinky, sippy, sippy. Okay, I think what we do is Leila goes all the way up here. Well, actually, because she can use the rapier against the horses. So yeah, we can bonk you. Do I want to use the save point now? I think I want to use the save point now because I'm going for an 80%.
Yeah, that sounds fair.
I like how the health bar falls off. It's my funniest. It's like my favorite little visual glitch.
Yeah, the HP bar goes like back to where your unit started. It's really funny.
It makes sense because it's like it's trying to set the unit at that spot too.
Yeah.
So you move. You're stationary. You're stationary.
I want to say we get like a free javelin in the house.
Yeah, I know it's from one of the Viridians. Free up an inventory slot there.
Take a sip.
You go here. You go here. And drinky. And then I believe this is what's gonna proc the calves to move, and I should have Leila go first so she can. Oh, there's you.
Uh-oh.
Oh, Leila can't get Lone Wolf. Oh, she can't reach the calves.
Oh, she can't even reach. Ew.
I mean, we could shove her, but yeah, because they both
then
double
whoever shoves her falls behind
Alexis.
the turn.
They both double Alexis. They don't one. Well, actually, it's a Reaver. Yeah, he does kill. Okay, so you. What do you do with the Partesian? We can get this kill with the two of you.
Yeah. Or even if Hyperius stands there, though, they're not going to be able to go very far, right? Because they have to walk through the forest beside him.
They have to go through the forest, and they also loop around in like a U formation.
So how far can the Axe Reaver actually reach?
Well, no.
Oh, that's upsetting.
29, 20. Oh, it's a Lance Reaver though, right?
Yeah.
What if you go here with the Partesian? You. 14. Because this is going to be twice, right? 16, 16 is
yeah,
32. 16,
so 32.
16, 14, that kills.
Whoosh.
God, Alexis, like, even if you're not using the press turn to move her around, Alexis just being able to say, I have a brave weapon this time.
I want to attack this guy twice this turn.
It's just nice.
The only downside is I wish it played the movement star sound effect.
Well, it gives the music note.
It does, but it doesn't play like the little chime that plays.
Don't.
I like the sound.
-5 crit. The hero would have still had crit on her, but like I'm just happy now the generics won't.
Yeah, at least now, like, all of these other unpromoted guys don't have crit on her now.
So you break yourself upon Zeke. And the other one has to fight Hyperius.
Oh no, I hope Hyperius does alright.
Damn, he's taking more damage than I expected.
Oh wait, this is a good thing. He takes damage. That means the Cavalier will target him.
What is this? We're back on the Yunaka archetype?
Does Alexis kill so she can like run down then run back up without falling behind?
She can. Yeah, so we can do that.
Because I find that's what'll hurt me sometimes. Is I'll find a unit and go, oh, you can run down and kill this guy, but then you're like
Behind.
a whole turn and a half behind everyone, and you have to catch up.
Yeah.
And since you only have the one flyer, you can't really do like rescue strats. Yeah,
Chest key, right? There's no more chests?
Yep, there's no more chests.
Okay. Just making sure I wasn't misremembering.
You're good. Whoa.
Okay, so you Lance Reaver, Steel Axe.
Could you shove Hyperius?
With whom though? Like, because then they end up behind.
Oh, I mean, like move him up first, then shove him.
Oh, just have him like completely choke this point?
Oh, that's a walkable tile right above him.
Yeah, it is.
I thought it was a wall tile.
How does Leila do? Because the Merc can't reach the Merc can reach Leila. Okay, can Leila survive either of these guys? 11 after a vulnerary, I'm saying.
Yeah.
And she doesn't kill because Lone Wolf isn't off. Look at that.
Perfect.
We need to make sure not to give her Charm. Because if we give her Charm, she kills the Axe guy, and then she can die.
So, do not give stats.
So, Charm is 2 tiles, right?
Would that put him in range of the...
Puts him in range of the Axe, 30. Or is it 30 or 33? It's 33 plus 2, 35. 35. Yeah, he's fine. Okay. So he can go here, equip Partisan, vulnerary up to full.
Oh, 20 HP vulneraries, my beloved.
And then Alexis can go here and provide her support bonuses. Okay.
Well, here they come.
So they're gonna break themselves upon us. Okay, so we could have provided Charm, but I didn't know what the enemy movement order was.
Yeah.
I have no excuses for you there. That's 76. You shouldn't have pulled that.
Yikes, that looks scary. I know he's safe, but...
Yeah, we ran the numbers.
It doesn't stop it from looking real sketch. Like, the fighter doesn't move, but...
Well, also, we're blocking. He wouldn't be able to reach anyway.
Yeah, it just looks scary.
Okay, so...
At least
you
Alexis
kill with
probably
Charm.
like...
Okay, so what we do is we go here. We Partisan you. We kill the other fighter with Charm.
And then I imagine Alexis just deletes the Lance Reaver guy with, like, Hand Axe plus Iron.
15, so she lives the Javelin guy.
Look at that.
She won't live the Javelin guy because she's going to take damage, but we can... Do you kill the Javelin guy? I don't want to use the Silver Sword on our generic, but I think we have to.
We can use the Silver Sword here.
Yeah, I think we use the Silver Sword here. So you do this.
We'll
I guess
have
if she
plenty.
dodges, we don't have to. We'll see. We don't have to. Because that also means someone other than Hyperius can get the kill.
Yeah. Ooh, free Hand Axe. No.
Oh shit, you're right. I forgot that it's not sent to convoy.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it would be nice for Alexis. That was dumb of me.
I like to put it on Hyperius, just so he has like a 2-range option. But
I don't think it's worth resetting for. But that was I need to be better. I need to be better about that.
Daisies.
I just by default throw whatever got dropped into the convoy, and I forgot. I should have sent one of the vulneraries. This is the Zeke arc experience.
Hey, look at that 100% hit.
Boom, baby. Yeah, that's why I wanted the iron. Okay, you have been deleted.
Accuracy is pretty cool.
So you're gonna chuck a jab at Leila, but that's fine. You're there.
Here comes Cavalier.
I mean, it is actually kind of an uh-oh, though. It is kind of an uh-oh moment. Assuming you know, if I just listened to you and used the silver.
But at least we kill here. Do we?
Oh, wait. There's literally no reason for me to... Oh my god, I'm so dumb. I was like, yeah, I'll feed the kill to my project unit. There was literally no reason for me to do that. She's at 15 already. Zero growths moment.
Oopsie-daisies. Does Zeke reach with Iron Bow? Oh, he probably doesn't kill.
Zeke is a project unit. You are correct. He probably doesn't kill, but let's see.
Dude.
He does.
Oh, he does. Because that means Leila can get the house at least.
Leila can hit the house, and then Alexis can move forward.
The boss here does move. I do remember that catches me off guard sometimes.
Yeah, thank you for reminding me, because I knew, but I always forget. But he only reaches Hyperius. So we give Hyperius support. Hey, Dean.
Yo, it's Dean!
Okay, what are we sending? Robe probably, right?
Yeah, I don't think we're using the robe.
I might robe up Hyperius, to be honest, but I also might just like give all the boosters to Athena. Hey, buddy. You're a bold one. I do like this music, but it feels like a bit of a tonal shift.
Oh, it does. It definitely feels like... It doesn't feel super appropriate for... there are also the scary Cavaliers in the top right. I think it's almost worth just deleting this guy with Brave and running.
Yeah, I'm trying to see how far do the Cavs reach. It's just escape all, right?
Yeah, everyone has to escape.
Okay, so I think what we do is Hyperius kills the boss with the Brave Sword, and then we trade the Rapier onto him?
Can he reach the... Oh, I guess this means he can kill the Cavs.
Yeah, I was going to trade the Rapier onto him. And then we give him both Charm and Leila and Alexis support, like everyone's support. Who the hell are you? You're too strong. Sorry, Rourke. We have got the Pokemon Gym badge now.
Oh wait, before you trade the Rapier on him, does he just kill with Iron?
29.
He's killed all the other Cavs up until this point with Iron.
So he doesn't double them. So he would have to one-shot.
Oh, is he losing speed from the Brave Sword?
Oh,
I know he has huge con.
13
there's no way he loses speed from that.
No, he's not. So yeah, he doesn't double. He's 14 speed.
Yay.
I think he does need Rapier. Or Silver. Okay, with Charm... Okay, 38 with Charm is... Okay, no, it's not 38. What is... 7 Might... So it's 31, right?
Yes. 31.
With Charm, it's 33. Leila gives 1 Might, right?
So we're at 31.
Yeah, 1 Might, 32. So it's 32. They have 41. He needs the Rapier.
Yeah.
I think we do want to delete them.
I didn't know if we wanted to just, like, move up against the left wall and just try to leave without killing them.
I don't think we... Oh, wait, okay. If you all go here, and you rescue... Yeah, we can, actually.
Yeah, we can just get out without fighting them, because that... To save some Rapier uses.
No, that's good.
Because the
experience he gains is not worth it. Well, in that case, let's see... Do we want to trade some items around? You have a 2-use Vulnerary... You have 2 Vulneraries and a Javelin you can't use. So we trade... Oh, you can't use Lances either, can you, right? Yeah, so it's just... Okay. So Zeke...
She could trade the
grab
javelin
the jav
onto Zeke.
and rescue at the same time, right?
Yeah.
So we give you that. It is not... We're not giving her the goddess icon. Like, we're just...
Yeah.
So you do that.
And they just hug up against the left wall and they should be fine.
You go here. And then all
Stealthing around the
four
left
of them can
side.
escape.
This should work.
They think they're blocking us. They're not.
Goodbye.
And it's only if your last unit is rescued that screws up the escapes, right?
Yeah, I think it's specifically if Blair is being rescued and you try to escape.
Well, because Blair is always the last unit.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
But we did it. It worked.
And before Hyperius suddenly isn't in the army anymore.
Whoopsie daisies.
Whoopsies!
We have misplaced our Jagan.
See ya.